皆さんこんにちは、尾形です。お元気ですか？今日も一緒に日本語を勉強していきましょう。Hello everyone, how are you today? Let's study Japanese together. Today, we are going to learn more about Hiragana, voiced consonants, long vowels, double consonants, and glides. Are you ready? Let's go. Let's start with new Hiragana. The consonants K, S, T, H are voiceless, and they have voiced counterparts. The difference between voiceless and voiced consonants is the presence or absence of vibration. For instance, pronounce K and G one after another. The position of the tongue and shape of the lips are identical for both sounds. In both cases, you touch the back of your mouth with your tongue, then you quickly release the tongue to let the air flow. The only difference between the two is that your vocal cords vibrate when you pronounce G, but not when you pronounce K. Please look at this chart. Can you guess how they are pronounced? Please stop the video here and take some time trying to pronounce them. Now, let's practice each sound together. が、ぎ、ぐ、げ、ご。ざ、じ、ず、ぜ、ぞ。だ、じ、ず、で、ど。ば、び、ぶ、べ、ぼ。ぱ、ぴ、ぷ、pe, po. Please note that the two dots upper right in each character is called ten, and the small circle in the column P is called maru or 小さい丸. 小さい means small. Now, let's look at examples using voice consonants. 自己紹介数字今何時ですか？ It is noted that G of J plus I and G of Z plus I have the same pronunciation but different letter. Which letter we should use depends on each word, but most of the cases we use G of J plus I. Let's look at next examples. 50音図地図チーズ Again, Z of D plus U and Z of Z plus U have the same pronunciation but different letter. Which letter we should use again depends on each word, but most of the cases we use Z of Z plus U. Now, let's practice new words. Repeat after me. ひげひげ指指腕腕のどのど膝膝体体電話電話長い長い短い短い日本語日本語カバンカバン地図地図鍵鍵風風鉛筆鉛筆天ぷら天ぷら長い腕長い腕短い指短い指 Okay? Now, let me introduce a few useful expressions. The first one is ありがとうございます。Thank you very much. You can say ありがとう to your close friends or family. The next one is どういたしまして You're welcome. Or some people replace it with 大丈夫 or okay, okay. And the last one is すみません which means I'm sorry or excuse me, depending on the situation. If you go to Japan, I'm sure you will hear a lot of すみません in any situation. Now, listen to 18 words or phrases. For the first listening, please just repeat after them. For the second listening, please write it down on your notes. Now, let's begin. ひげひげ日本語日本語指指カバンカバン腕腕地図地図喉喉鍵鍵膝膝風風体体鉛筆鉛筆電話電話天ぷら天ぷら長い長い長い腕長い腕短い短い短い指短い指 Okay, let's go for the second time. ひげひげ日本語日本語指指カバンカバン腕腕地図地図喉喉鍵鍵膝膝風風体体鉛筆鉛筆電話電話天ぷら天ぷら長い長い長い腕長い腕短い短い短い指短い指 Okay? Okay, did you get it? Here is the answer key. This is almost the same words I presented earlier, but still I think it's a good practice. Next, we are going to learn long vowels. When the same vowel appears twice consecutively in a word, the two are pronounced as a continuous sound rather than as two separate vowels. This is called a long vowel. In general, long vowels are written by adding a to hiragana containing the vowel a, e to hiragana containing the vowel e or e, and u to hiragana containing the vowel u or o. This is kind of complicated, right? So just reading explanation might make you more complicated. Let me give you some specific examples. First, look at this chart of long vowels. Have a look at the orange box. It says O and O. The pronunciation of these two are exactly same. However, the usage is different. The right O is in the word osama, which means king. The left O is in the word oki, which means big. Let me give you more examples. ラーメン、チーズ、数字、OK、王様、じゃあ、復習、東京。Here, チーズ is written in Hiragana, but normally it is written in katakana since it is a foreign word. But because we have not covered katakana yet, I wrote in Hiragana instead of katakana for now. We are going to learn katakana very soon. This is an interesting example using Japanese era name. Last year, the emperor in Japan abdicated and the name of era was changed from Heisei to Reiwa. I was born in Showa. My grandmother was born in Taisho. By the way, Meiji era is one of the most popular eras in Japanese history among Japanese people because a lot of reforms took place. Now, let's practice with more examples. 先生、風船、王様、丁寧、お兄さん、弟、お母さん、おじいさん、小さい、学生、砂糖、高校、時計、妹、お父さん、おばあさん、小さい時計。Okay, bottom one. A. 通り、大きい、お姉さん、氷、大きい通り。Okay, now let me introduce useful expressions instructors use in class. 読んでください。Please read. 書いてください。Please write. 言ってください。Please say. 見てください。Please look. 聞いてください。Please listen. Of course, you can use these expressions in class as well in order to receive your classmates' attention. By the way, do you happen to know rakugo? Japanese traditional comic storytelling. And do you know him? He fell in love in rakugo and came to Japan to study it. His performance is very interesting and intriguing. Let's watch it together and learn some aspects of Japanese culture.
I perform usually in Japan in Japanese, but sometimes I get asked to perform in English, even in Japan, especially at schools and universities. And I was performing about a year ago in the university in the northernmost islands of Hokkaido. I'd like to do a little bit of the traditional story I did for the students in Hokkaido. I'd like to do it for you today. Once upon a time, there was a little boy with a very long name. His name was Jugemu Jugemu Goko no Surikiri Kaijari Suiyo no Sunyo Matsu Furai Matsu Kuneru Tokoro ni Sumu Tokoro Yabura Koji Bura Koji Paipo Paipo no Shurigan no Gurindai no Pompoko Pi no Pompoko na no Chokyume no Chosuke. I deserve that applause. I'm just kidding. One day, his neighbor, a little boy named Kin-chan, a much shorter name, came to pick him up for school. And Kin-chan said, Jugemu, goko no surikiri, kaijari shiyo no sunyomatu, hurai matu, kuneru tokoro ni sumu tokoro, yabura koji, paipo no shuringa no gurindai no pompoko pi no pompoko na no chokyume no chosuke-kun. Let's go to school. And Jugemu's mother came out and said, Arama Kin-chan, you're so nice. But our Jugemu goko no surikiri kaijari suinyo no sungimatsu ungimatsu huraimatsu kuneru tokoro ni sumu tokoro yaburoko jiburoko jipaepo paepo no shuringan no gurindai no pompoko pi no pompoko na no chokyu mei no chosuke is sleeping. Wait here, I'll wake him up. Hey, jugemu goko no surikiri kaijari suinyo no sungimatsu ungimatsu huraimatsu kuneru tokoro ni sumu tokoro yaburoko jipaepo paepo no shuringan no gurindai no pompoko pi no pompoko na no chokyu mei no chosuke. Wake up! Kin-chan is here to pick you up. I'm sorry, Kin-chan. Please wait. Jugemu goko no surikiri kaijari suinyo no sungimatsu huraimatsu kuneru tokoro ni sumu tokoro yaburoko jipaepo king kong kang kong. King Kong Kong Kong. Ma'am, his name was so long. School for today is already finished. So I performed this story in Hokkaido just the way I did it for you. It was a little bit longer version, and then I got the anketo, or the survey of the students after the show, and I was very surprised at the comments the Japanese students gave me on that day. The first comment was, Sunshine-san speaks very good English. I was surprised. Sunshine-san's English sounds almost like a native speaker. Almost.
It was so funny, wasn't it? And this is a line, what he said in his Rakugo performance. If you have time, just practice it. Next, small 2 is called double consonants. A small 2 indicates that the consonant that immediately follows it is preceded by a glottal stop and held for an additional syllable. Double consonants often involve the glottis in speech, but may not necessarily require a full glottal stop. For this, we should practice a lot because I think practice makes perfect. Here are some examples using small 2. Let's repeat after me. 日記、楽器、学校、切符、切手、熱湯、立派な、雑誌、石鹸、葉っぱ、国旗、作家、尻尾、立派な学校。Here, let me provide a little bit more useful expressions for confirming information and making requests. わかりましたか? Do you understand it? はい、わかりました。Yes, I understand. いいえ、わかりません。No, I don't understand. If you do not understand what people say because they speak too fast or sometimes too slow, you can request them to repeat what they say by saying, もう一度お願いします。もう一度お願いします。Okay, now let's move on to glides. Sounds containing a consonant and Y, such as kya, q, or kyo, are called glides, or semivowels. They look a little bit complicated, but once you get used to it, by practicing a lot, it is not a big deal for you. Instead, keep in mind that when you write small ya, you, or yo, please write it small. For example, 100 means 100, but 100 means progress. Even though I think we can understand from the context, in order to avoid misunderstanding, please write small letters, small. Okay, now let's practice together. 紅茶、電車、医者、写真、近所、100、300、旅行。Okay, middle one. 出発、しゃっくり、直角、食器。Okay, the bottom one. 今日、きゅうり、人形、量、 病気、名字、正月、牛乳。By the way, some of you might have wondered how to say some specific things in Japanese. In that case, this is a useful expression for asking for Japanese words in English equivalents. Smith-san said, これは日本語で何と言いますか? And Yamada-san replies, 本って言います。Although here, Yamada-san replies, 本って言います。If you're close friends, you can say, 本だよ。本だよ。I introduced だよ just because some of you might have heard from Japanese movies or Japanese songs. Lastly, I'd like to recommend one of my favorite songs, which is an inserted song in one of Ghibli movies called 天空の城 Laputa, Castle in the Sky, and the song title is 君を乗せて。歌を聴く前に少しだけ単語を説明しますね。Before listening, let me introduce new words used in this song. 2回リピートしますね。父さんが残した。父さんが残した。熱い思い。熱い思い。母さんがくれた。母さんがくれた。眼差し。眼差し。地球は回る。地球は回る。君を隠して。君を隠して。輝く瞳。輝く瞳。きらめく灯火。きらめく灯火。君を乗せて。君を乗せて。いつかきっと。いつかきっと。出会う。出会う。それでは聞きましょう。Now, let's listen.
どこかに君を隠
今日もお疲れ様でした。次のレッスンでは日本語のタイピングを勉強します。For the next lesson, we will learn how to type Japanese. では、また会いましょう。Okay, have a great day. See you soon. またね。最後までご視聴いただきありがとうございました。英語学習や留学のカウンセリング、英作文添削も行っています。ぜひホームページをご覧ください。